So everyone, welcome to Roma Theory as Roma prepare a vital, a crucial game to fight for top four and start to build a gap. That's something important and that's something which I want to focus on today. Because building a gap, now that we've reached the third position, I know everyone is there. I really like everyone is attached to each other. We just need our team to bottle one match and we're already outside of top four basically. Things are so close up there. It's becoming very interesting to watch, but the fact that it's so close means that our objective now, after having reached top four, is starting to cultivate and grow a gap between our top four opponents. And if we want to do that, let me tell you one thing. We cannot bottle it on Saturday against Lecce. This is a tough game. I say this every time I go live on a match preview, but it's another one of those dark, spooky games which Roma tend to bottle. Now, I've said this many times, and I'm going to say it again because this is a match preview. Technically we're facing a small team. Lecce is a small team. And this season we've been really good at actually getting points where we have to get points. And if you look at last season, you probably would put this explanation as the main factor of why we didn't reach top four. Because we wasted so many points against small sides. This season, I see a more concentrated Roma when it comes to these little encounters, which can be spooky encounters. And that's why I'm not massively worried for this game, because we've collected 3 points wherever we have to collect 3 points. We've struggled more when it comes to big games, but this season, we've done what we had to do. But Lecce is a sneaky team. Let's start with the fact that we're traveling to the southeast team in Italy. And you're probably going, what does that mean? It doesn't mean absolutely anything, but it's a long travel to get there. And I'm not by any means, I am trying to put that as just as an explanation for us to not, an excuse to for us to not win this game. But they're the most soundest team in Italy. They're the most soundest team in the Serie A, I should say. And they have actually gotten points against big sides. They won against Lazio. They drew against Milan. They drew in Naples against Napoli. So it can be a spooky game, but you look at the importance of this game and you're like, we can't mess things up. We just can't. Now, we're very lucky that this weekend we've got a massive top four clash between Lazio and Atalanta at the Olimpico. That game is going to be crucial, because if Lazio and Atalanta draw, or either way, one of the two is going to lose points. Because if Lazio win, Atalanta's losing points. If Atalanta win, Lazio's losing points. And if they draw, they both lose points. So either way, a team is going to lose points out of that game. If we win our game, that's already advancing like 4 points and building a gap of 4 points. And the more we accumulate these gaps, the more we get these points against these small sides, the more of a breather we can have when it comes to actually wishing top four. Top four is a big objective. Top four is the objective this season. I'm the first one to defend the team from all the criticisms that it's receiving, just because we are 3 points from Inter Milan. And I don't think, as much as, yes, our game isn't amazing, and I'm going to say this for the 1000th time, but we're third. And what do you want more, I should say? Napoli won the league. We could easily get second, if you ask me. We just have to keep a good, consistent path, good, consistent rhythm, which is not something which Roma love to do. I'll be honest with you. We don't love to keep a consistent path. We always win a game, and then lose a game. And then we win a game, lose a game, win a game, win a game, and then we lose a game. We've never actually followed a consistent path. This is why this is going to be a spooky game. And as you can probably see from my Predict 11, no turnover. Absolutely not. The fact that we've got Salzburg on Thursday means absolutely nothing. I'd rather win this game and lose the Salzburg game. Maybe not, but I'd rather win both games. And if we don't start with our big team against Lecce on Saturday, we're going to lose points. It's written in the stars, it's written in the books, it's written in the Milky Way. And that's what happened against Cremonese. And, yes, Lecce, you're a better side than Cremonese, but at the end of the day, they're both two teams which got promoted. So when it comes to actually standards and levels, they're on the same level. And Cremonese have spooked us. Cremonese have kind of upsetted us. We don't want to repeat that again. And my predicted 11 is the same exact predicted 11 as Empoli. The same exact one. Same exact predicted 11. No changes whatsoever because we have to win this game. We just have to win this game. I know we've got Europa League on Thursday, but you see, top 4 is just so important. Top 4 is just... It's just that gold that we want to add on top of our Conference League win last season. Don't get me wrong, I would love a good Europa League run too. But the priority has to be top 4. Because if we don't get top 4, we're never going to win Europa League. And if at the end of the season, we don't get top 4, and we have a bad run in Europa League, that's where we have a lot of... What do you want to say? A lot of upsets? I don't know if you want to put it that way. But let's not include upsets. Let's not prepare this match in a bad way. We're third in the league. We're 3 points from second position. We have to win this game. And that's why my predicted 11 is the best one out there. Moving on to my predicted 11. Rui Patricio in goal. No, nothing major there. My defense is classic defense. Ibanez, Mancini, and Smalling. People are saying Llorente. No. To be honest with you, no. I'd rather stick with our 3 defenders. Ibanez obviously wanting to prolong that header streak. He's actually one of the defenders out of all of European teams which has scored the most this season. Which is good, massive, because we love set pieces, and this is another chance. This is another reason why we have to start with Ibanez and Smalling, not just because they give a good security and a good protection in defense, but also because they're good armaments when it comes to set pieces, and set pieces are our best thing. So classic defense. My 4 midfielders are not Celik, and I'm going to talk about Celik in a second. Zalewski, El Shaarawy, and Matic and Cristante. Now, you know me. I do not like Matic and Cristante together. I am a total anti-Matic and Cristante. You know me really well if you're an OG subscriber. But I've said this in a match reaction last time. I'll be the first one to say that in these last few games, Matic and Cristante have been playing way better. I would love to see Kamara in this game. I would love to see Kamara in this game. I would love to give Matic a rest. But at the same time, I don't want to, because I want to win this game. And I'm not saying starting Kamara does not mean we win this game. I would love for Kamara to start this game. But this is what I think Mourinho will choose. And there's just something which happened with Kamara. I'm not sure if he hasn't been training well. I'm not sure if something happened when it comes to attitude-wise. I don't think so, because if Jose has a problem with you, he blasts you out. So I don't think there has been an attitude problem. I think it's just that Kamara's not been training to the levels he was at the start of the season. That's the only thing which I'd explain. I'd love to see Kamara in this game, but I don't think it will happen. Matic and Cristante will start this game. Zalewski will start. Spina obviously still has to get that fitness back. Spina isn't ready. And you can tell he's not ready because he's not been playing well. Spina's not the same Spina. He needs time. That's something which Wijnaldum will need to have in a few weeks when he comes back. But let's give it a few minutes on my 2 fullbacks. Why have I not started Celik? I haven't started Celik because we played against Empoli without Celik and we won. We scored 2 goals and we conceded 0. And Mourinho doesn't love changing things when we win things. Now, you look at the Bodo Glimt 6-1, and you kind of compare it to the 3-1 to Cremonese. 2-1 to Cremonese, sorry. Obviously, the Bodo Glimt was more embarrassing. It was an abuse, but Cremonese is also weaker than Bodo Glimt. And you look at the Bodo Glimt defeat, and you're like, after that game, Mourinho has never started any of the 11 players which were starting that game, apart from Rui Patricio. And don't, if you're new here, we were playing with very bang average players. We underestimated that game so much. Same happened with Cremonese. It's the same scenario all over again. And Çelik, I'm not gonna shout. If you want to see me shout against Çelik, go and watch the Cremonese match reaction. But Çelik against Cremonese was appalling. Was absolutely appalling. So I know that Jose doesn't love changing things, and I know Jose wasn't surprised and was quite disappointed after that Cremonese win. And if Zalewski and El Shaarawy both played all against Empoli, why does Çelik have to start this game? That is my explanation and my theory behind Çelik is not going to start this game. Maybe he won't start on Thursday too. Obviously, again, I'm not saying Çelik is out of the project just because he bottled the Cremonese game. No. But I don't think it's Çelik's moment. I think Çelik is not having it right now. And I'd rather have El Shaarawy, who, in compared to Çelik, also has a higher chance of scoring a goal. That's my explanation behind things. So that's my choice of the two fullbacks. My two attacking midfielders are Pellegrini and Dybala. Obviously, now that Zaniolo has left, Pellegrini and Dybala will have to play there unless we want to play Solbakken, but Mourinho's been the first one to say that Solbakken still needs to understand Roma's tactics and the team tactics. So Dybala, Pellegrini will start this game with Tammy up front. Tammy's having a great moment. If he can continue this moment on Saturday, then we also prepare him really well for the Europa League game next Thursday, 1 week time, against Salzburg away. The first one's away, if people don't remember, which is good, because if we were to lose that game, then we would have 70,000 stadiums pushing our way through in the second run of our way. Kind of what happened with Bodo Glimt, where we lost the first one 2-1 and then we won the second one 4-0. Salzburg are better than Bodo Glimt, but we cannot focus on Salzburg right now. Really, lads, don't focus on Salzburg right now. The Saturday game is such an important game. Because I think, you look at our schedule, our February schedule, and not counting Europa League games, we've got Lecce on Saturday, we've got Verona at home next weekend, we've got Cremonese away. These are all teams where we have to get 4 points. If we can get 4 points by the end of February, and maybe avoid getting eliminated from Europa League, the confidence would be amazing. Then March starts tough, because their first game is March is against Juventus at home. But if we can get out of February with 4 points starting from now, we're putting a massive press on top four. Massive press on top four. And I think February, March and April is all about building a gap between Lazio and Atalanta and keeping up with Inter's path. And May and June will all be about the final assault to get that top four, which we all want. I think if I'd have to break down the rest of the season in a few chapters, February, March, and half of April would be build a gap, keep a distance, and put pressure on Inter Milan. And the other half of February, May, and June is assault. Get that top four, and we're all happy. That's how I would say it. But obviously, in order for these words to actually come to reality, we have to stop. I mean, not that we have, but we have to avoid losing points against these sides. On Saturday, I expect a win. I expect another win to keep a good streak, and it's such an important. It's Lecce. I know it's Lecce. I know it's a boring game. Like, oh my God, we're playing Lecce on Saturday. It's the boring games which are the most important games. It's the games against these small sides which are the most important games. Because if we lose against all of these what was I going on there? If we lose points against all of these little sides, then there is no point in winning against big sides. This is why I'm the first one to say that little games, these little bastard spooky games, are the most important ones. Apart from the derby. The derby tops it all. But, you know, not that I'd rather win, but winning against Lecce, for example, away, is more important than winning at home against Juventus. Because if we get the most points against the small sides, then we've already created a layer. We've already created a protection layer. That's why this game is a crucial game. Ashish Pokiral says, let's have a watch-along. Watch-along will come on Saturday at 6 p.m. Italian time. And do not miss it. We're back with the live watch-alongs. Right, let's speaking about them. They're a tough side which have spooked some big sides. Lazio, obviously, Milan, Napoli. They've stopped big sides. They are a good game which play good football. They are our red and yellow rivals. We've won in the first round 2-1 with a Dybala penalty, which he took and then he got injured. So obviously we have to avoid that. But look, it's a game we have to win. It's a game where we have to be careful about their counterattacks because they're a fast team. They're a fast team. They're a dangerous team. And just like the Cremonese game, this is a game where if we give them their chances, they can hurt us a lot. And that's that's effectively what I'll say. Right. So true about the matches against multi teams. It is true. It is true indeed. I still think Roma could reach Europa League final. I mean, why not? Why not? Obviously we can, but the priority is not Europa League. I've said this already. I think if we get top 4, and if we're confident about top 4, we can also get thrown out by Salzburg. If getting top 4 means getting ourselves thrown out of the Europa League by Salzburg, I'm all for it. I want a good run in Europa League because, first of all, just having a general good run in Europa League would make the team more prestigious. I've said this already. Having a good run, which doesn't necessarily mean winning the Europa League, because I'll give you an example. Look at that 2018 Champions League campaign. I know the Champions League is the Champions League and the Europa League is the Europa League, and I know 2018 Roma was very different to 2023 Roma. But look at that 2018 Champions League run we had. We did not win that. But we beat the likes of Barcelona. We beat the likes of Liverpool with pride. I know we got thrown out by Liverpool, but we beat Liverpool. If we can have a similar run to that one, to the 2018 Champions League run in the Europa League, to the levels where we beat Barcelona, I'll give you an example, and we lose in the semi-final, but making yourself proud. Not only would it massively increase the international level of the team, but it would also massively increase the attractiveness towards the team. Therefore, in the summer, if we get top 4 and we have had a good Europa League run, then a lot of big players will go like, right, look at this team. Last season they won a UEFA tournament. This season they got semi-final of a UEFA tournament. And next season they'll be playing in the Champions League. Let me go play there. So the Europa League run is a run which I would love. I mean, I'd love having a good Europa League run just because international vibes, just going at the stadium and facing big teams, I would absolutely love that. But I definitely stick to the fact that top 4 is our priority. Now let me give you another example. Let me give you an example similar to last season. Let's say we get to April, end of April. Let's say we get to the end of April, mid of April. Let's say we get to April, where we are still in a Europa League run, and we're out of top 4. It's just too hard. In a hypothetical situation in April where top 4 is impossible, it's done, give up on it. However, we're in a quarter-final of a Europa League. That's where we have to go all in the Europa League. Similar to last season. Last season we got to April where we knew we really had a chance and we had nothing to lose in the Conference League. And therefore, we detached from the Serie A and we gave it our all best in the Conference League. Why do I know this? I know this because over the course of April and May, we were not winning games anymore. We were drawing against Bologna at home. We were drawing against Venezia at home. We were losing big games. We lost against Inter Milan away. We lost against Milan away. We lost that 4-3 against Juventus. But in the Conference League, we knew we had a chance. We knew we had nothing to lose. And we just focused on that. Conference League is way easier than Europa League. 100%. But the 2018 Champions League run for Roma really puts the mind that if you want something, and if you really want something, it's not too hard for you to achieve it. You know, let's not forget, I know a lot of you here came because of Mourinho, and I'm not sure if you remember that 2018 Champions League campaign. If you go back and watch the highlights of that Roma-Liverpool 2018 semi-final of the Champions League, and you put VAR in that game, Roma would have played a Champions League final against Real Madrid. Liverpool robbed that game. You go watch the highlights. If VAR was there, we would have got it in a final. And at the start of the season, who would have even placed €2 on Roma to reach the Champions League final? So I know the team was a way better team. I know it was just so it was the golden years at Roma. But what I'm trying to say here is, if you really want something, and if the team really is united on one objective, I would not be surprised if we beat the likes of Arsenal. I mean, I would, because Arsenal are the best team in Europe right now. But that 2018 Champions League campaign opened a completely different path in my mind on how to look at runs in trophies. But again, not focusing on Europa League right now. We'll focus on Europa League after the Lecce game. This is a game we have to win. Well said, Simon. If we get top 4, which we were on track to get, we can get even more good players for next season. We can still get Ndika and others. Daye. Indeed. What do you think of Zaniolo transfer? I don't care. I'll miss the player and I won't miss the other person. This Saturday's symbolic Saturday episode will all be about the reality behind Zaniolo's attitude on social media. Because there have been a lot of controversies on the way Zaniolo has said farewell to Roma on social media. There have been a few scenarios which have opened up. So I will film something. Actually, I have filmed something this afternoon. And Saturday's symbolic Saturday episode will all be about Zaniolo's reality behind his social media behavior in these past few days. So looking forward to that on Saturday, and then obviously at 6 p.m. at live watch along tomorrow. If Mourinho doesn't go live, we'll keep updated on Roma in general what's happening. Otherwise, if he does go live, a Mourinho press conference reaction tomorrow. And yeah, we have to win. I hope you enjoyed today's match preview. I hope you agree with my predicted 11. If you don't, let me know in the comments your own predicted 11. I'll be very curious to read and respond to all of your comments. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Let's try and get 6,250 likes by Saturday. It would be amazing. If you're watching and you aren't already subscribed, do it and bring your friends and families here. Share the link on my channel with families and friends. Smash the like button before leaving the stream. Everyone, take 2 seconds to smash that like button down below. And I'll catch you very, very soon. Yes. Did you see the real Zaniolo posted? I did, and I will comment on that because I did not appreciate a few things in that reel. But I won't spoil anything because Saturday's symbolic Saturday episode will be on that. So I'll catch you soon. Simon, out.